Hi, I'm Emily Wall, and today I'm going to talk about some of the ways to do vinyasas when you're doing the seated poses. So eventually, you do this kind of fancy looking thing called a jump back and a jump through. So after you've done a seated pose to get to the other side or to get to the next pose, you take a vinyasa. Here's what the jump back looks like. And then jumping through, there's a couple ways. I'll show with straight legs. Now that took years of hard work, so I'm going to show a couple different ways that you can approach that. So one way is to cross your legs, roll over the feet, step or hop back, and take your vinyasa. Whether that's chaturanga with knees down or up, or maybe you could also just do cat-cows. To come back through to seated, step forward, and then sit down and extend the legs long. And blocks can be useful here. The blocks will help just give us a little bit more space. So the blocks go in front of the hips, and you want to think about when you lift up, as part of that jumping back is protracting the shoulders. So protraction, shoulder blades separate. Retraction, which you want to do in chaturanga, is squeeze the shoulder blades together. So this protraction is going to help us find height. Cross the legs, hands come to the blocks. Inhale, pick up, lift, and then you can walk or slide the feet back, and then from here, step or hop back. Now you can take the rest of the vinyasa on the blocks. I personally don't love that, so I'll usually move them out to the side, and then take my chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. To come back through, step forward, protract, wiggle, wiggle, extend one leg, then the other, and lower down. And you can also try that without the blocks. Now, sometimes, especially in primary series, there are a lot of vinyasas. So I do something that I like to call a shortened vinyasa. And I think it's a good idea if you're trying to wonder, well, when should I do it? You can use it all the time, but it's also a good place between sides. So in Ashtanga, we do a vinyasa in between sides and in between poses. So there's a lot. So maybe you keep the full vinyasa in between poses, but in between sides, maybe you do the shortened version. So I call this a pick-up lift. Use your blocks, lift the hips up. You can keep the feet down or lift one foot or both, and then exhale, lower. Extend the legs, hands behind, finding a little back bend here instead of our up dog, and then release. So that way you're still getting the strength of a chaturanga, and you're getting a back bend as well. Eventually, maybe you come here and you pick up and lift and slide the feet back, and then from here, step or hop back. Find your vinyasa. Grab those blocks. Maybe you hop. Maybe slide through, and then extend one leg and the other. Or even come into your exit and lower. Now, that took years, even with those blocks, to do that, and I have a lot of strength drills to kind of build you up. But those are just some of the different levels that you can kind of play around with in your practice. And the great thing about Ashtanga is that it has a set sequence, and so once you know the sequence, you can practice at home, and you can play around with these vinyasas, explore, conduct little experiments on your mat and find what works for you. I look forward to seeing you on your mat soon.